Welcome back.
This is one of those times when we need to like punch each other. Why? Me and Austin have this ritual where we stab each other.
It's not a ritual.
Because we're low energy, and you guys need to wake up.
I'm like a honey badger. I'll come at you quick.
Get him. Austin, get him.
I don't know if I want to. He was looking to punch. I saw it.
But see, if you guys go at him both sides,
Hey.
you divide him.
Austin already punched me twice.
One time.
Oh, it was once.
Go first.
The other time he went to punch me.
It was as strong as two
I
punches.
almost did.
I wasn't actually going to do it, but I sure got... Did you get any good photographs of your face?
They were terrible.
Why?
When he punched you?
They were great.
I think we need to try it again.
Nope.
Because he got you right in the face.
Pow, right in the kisser.
How? Right in the kiss.
Welcome back to Five's a Crowd, the best podcast in the world, surrounded by your five best friends, Cam, Chris, Tony, Zach, and myself, Austin.
Hola.
If you guys are new here, please hit that subscribe down below. Guaranteed, we're going to make you laugh at some point, so it might as well brighten your day each and every week. So, let's bring it in. We're going to be talking today about in the news. Now, in this historically... We have also talked about things going on in our personal lives. So, this also is going to be probably about 2-3 weeks old. So a lot of this news you guys have probably already heard. It's been regurgitated by this point. But we always like to give our points of view on the topics, which I think is always kind of fun. So without further ado, welcome, gang. Welcome. That being said, anything around the table to share? Any news? Any updates?
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know.
You want an update from me?
Yeah, give us an update, man.
Ain't no good update.
Come on. No good? None? Can I just say, Cam and I had a conversation where, we believe good news is coming.
Yep. Sure as hell hope so.
Yep.
Yeah, so...
I feel it in my bones.
If you guys are new here and don't know, Zach was diagnosed with cancer, last year?
About a year and a half ago.
A year and a half ago?
It's crazy that it was that long ago.
Yeah. And then came back with a vengeance. And I had it removed. And yeah, the biopsy actually came back with that. And it was 100%. It was my lymph node. I was 100% full of cancer. So there was nothing else to it but cancer.
So why wasn't it black like he had said?
Didn't
you say it was encased, though?
It was encased,
okay,
which is a good sign.
So it hadn't escaped yet.
Yes, which is a good sign. It's the same reason as my last one. My mole that showed up, it wasn't colored at all either. And normally they come in as a different color, blackish. And so he basically said, normally when a lymph node comes out all black, it's cancer. He goes, but it doesn't mean that it would be black.
Gotcha.
What you looking at?
I feel like I can't hear you.
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
Okay.
Oh, he's speaking into the mic?
But I do have an appointment with an oncologist on Monday to meet with him, and then we'll probably more than likely schedule a PET scan.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So, and then a PET scan should give me 100% answers on what's going on.
What does your pets have to do with it?
Is it your dog?
Yeah.
Couldn't help it.
You only have a dog, right?
Yeah, I got 2 dogs.
2 dogs.
2 dogs?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The one that doesn't like me and the other one that likes me a lot.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
One of them's like 100 years old. Is that the one that doesn't like anybody?
No, he's the one that loves everybody.
Oh.
Yeah. My other one's the boxer who gets very antsy around everybody.
Oh, no, the boxer loves me. It's the other one that hates me.
Oh, Neville didn't like you?
Neville
he is the
hates
100-year-old one.
Oh, Neville hates me, bro. He used to bark at me like crazy.
That sounds about right.
Well,
But, yeah, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully I have a PET scan. I'm assuming sometime after Thanksgiving I'll get a PET scan scheduled, and that'll give me the answers.
So what exactly is a PET scan?
Basically... you go on like a 24-hour no sugar diet.
Okay.
Like literally protein. That's all they want you to eat is just protein. No carbs, no nothing, for 24 hours. And it clears your system of all the sugars and everything like that. And this is what I'm told. So I'm, not 100% positive, but what it'll do is they'll inject, basically like either you drink a sugar drink type thing or they'll inject it into you. What it does is it gives you a roadmap of your system.
Okay.
And it will basically outline, it'll run to places that cancer typically
I've
would
heard of
be.
that.
And so give them, so it will highlight, like if there's cancer present anywhere else in the body, it'll actually highlight those areas.
That's interesting.
And it's like the probability of cancer being there is high. And so what they'll do is they'll attack that area specifically.
I realize how dumb I am when I hear stuff like this, because it's like, who the hell thought of putting sugar water in you and knowing that that's where cancer is going to be?
Right.
Like, how did they figure that out?
Yeah, right? Isn't
It's
that crazy?
Right?
I heard that when that goes in, that you can like literally feel it travel throughout your body.
Well, that's when I got my CAT scan done. I hate those.
Yeah.
They're the weirdest thing because they well, I had the dye one. That one was weird, and it turns your pee green for like 3 days. So you think you're radioactive. And then and don't worry, when you don't know about it and you're under like loopy and out of it, Kara has the video. No, she wishes she had the video. The nurse asked the nurse to go to the bathroom, and it was right around St. Patrick's Day. So the nurse took me into the bathroom, and I started peeing green, and I'm like, oh, I guess I am a leprechaun.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
I was so out of it. Carrie heard me in the other room. She was dying. But yeah, the other stuff, though, the dye is weird, and then when you get a CAT scan, that's the other thing, is they put a liquid into you. It's a warming liquid. And you literally can feel it run through your whole body. It makes you feel like you're peeing your pants. And then you can feel it just rush, and your whole body just turns to fire. Like you can feel it going into your head, and your just whole body just warms right up.
That's kind of what reminds me of like whiskey.
Really?
I hate whiskey for that reason. It doesn't do it to like your limbs, but it'll definitely make your stomach and everything warm.
Yeah.
It makes you feel alive.
I hate whiskey, man. I hate it with a passion. It's always like the manly drink, which I never understood because you can't get
Because
hard.
he's not a man. No.
Well, no, you can't get hard on
you're
whiskey.
a man if you can get hard on whiskey.
Yeah, well, I definitely cannot.
Makes you impotent.
Oh, definitely.
I've never had an issue with that.
Oh, I have
Chris is
once.
a manly man.
I have once, and
Chris
then I
has
was
got
like,
issues.
well, this is dumb, and then I never did again. Tequila man right here.
I like tequila too.
That's right. Don't you have the Rocks tequila? Or you did?
I slammed that bad boy.
Was it good?
Oh, so good.
Really?
Have you tried Ryan Reynolds' gin?
The aviation gin.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah, I think I actually have some still.
I haven't had much gin. Isn't that like a piney? Isn't
It tastes
piney?
very, piney. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's very fresh. Like if you put some Sprite with it, dude, it's like
The closest I've gotten
Refreshing.
is the black licorice ice cream from Far's Ice Cream. I've heard tastes just like Jaeger.
Jägermeister.
And so that's the closest I've gotten to knowing
it's
what
good.
anything tastes like.
Here's the thing. I do not like black licorice, but I love Jägermeister.
I don't like it coming back up though.
That's not the goal.
Isn't Jägermeister, isn't it mixed with Red Bull?
You can do that. Yeah, it's called the
Jaeger
Jaeger
bomb.
bomb.
Jaeger bomb, that's right.
That's what we should do. A whole episode.
Ask us anything. Then,
Speaking of Red Bull, there is a what flavor is it now?
Pitch black?
No,
Red Bull.
there's a drink place up by us called the Sugar Rush.
Yeah.
And they have a Red Bull drink that my sister-in-law says is fantastic.
Yeah, we supply their Red Bull.
I bet.
Lots of Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Red Bull.
I never had a Red Bull before, but I had a Red Bull last night, and I really like Red Bull now.
Is that Yes Man? Yeah. Jim Carrey. He has like 7 or 8 in one night or something like
Oh,
that.
I was thinking of Family Guy.
What's
Where
that
he
one
drinks
again?
all the Red Bulls or whatever, and then Chris turns around and says, "Dad, can I have a Red Bull?" He goes, "Yeah, Chris, have a Red Bull. Here, have one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. And then it shows later on that all of a sudden, next thing you know, Peter's out in the garden. He goes, "Makes things go fast, like you go really, really quick." And all of a sudden, next thing you know, Chris goes running behind him, and his crotch is on fire. And he's screaming.
You know, I kind of blame Family Guy for all the ADHD kids out there nowadays.
Oh my
man.
gosh.
That show, you have to watch that just knowing you're not going to know what's coming next.
Oh, you can't.
It's such quick humor.
Oh, yeah.
Especially on the cut
Fantastic.
screens.
Anything else? Any luck on the house? I don't know. We haven't talked on that in a
No,
minute.
that offer went poo poo. Yeah, it went poo poo.
Went poo poo.
I got something that made me mad that I heard today about my sister.
Uh-oh.
Which sister?
Oh, this is controversial. We'll talk about it.
Oh, okay.
My sister, the short blonde one, Anna.
Oh, okay.
That's names.
Names.
We're close.
Give me her whole name, her address, and I don't know which one you're talking about.
Right. So she is in school becoming a nurse, or learning to become a nurse. She had to take a sociology
Class?
It's a class, but I don't know if it's a full class. I guess it would be. It's like an
Course.
accelerated learning program where a teacher said that they needed to do a topic and do an essay on why gun control is a good thing for America. Well, my sister sat and thought about it and did a bunch of research, and she's like, I don't think it is. So she did an essay of why she thought it's not good for America.
Yeah.
She turns it into the teacher, and it's a big part of her grade. Well, she ends up failing because it wasn't the assignment that she was given.
No, that's not an assignment that should be given anyways.
Here's the
Welcome
thing.
to America's
It's against
college
the
system.
Second Amendment.
Well, not just that, but I mean, it's
the first.
it's against thinking. I mean, you're controlling a narrative.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, if you're going to do a class like that, I thought about it two ways. Say, okay, do an essay on why you think gun control would be good for America, and then do an essay why you think it wouldn't be good for America.
Yeah.
Do both of
Do
them.
both sides.
Or say you can pick this or the other, and then we can have a discussion about it, because I think discussions are important. But it's almost like, what is that? Social engineering?
Definitely.
So I mean, you hear about it all the time, right? You hear that this happens, but when it actually
Hits home.
was in my immediate family, and I heard it, I was like, gosh, there's just like a feeling of doom that hit over me. I was like, that's not right to do that.
It's amazing how, like, when you brought up to do both,
Right.
gun control for and against. It's amazing how actually how you can learn from that.
Right.
Because even just the simplest stuff, like when I was in 7th grade, 8th grade for choir, each quarter we had to watch a musical. And then basically write up a thing about the musical that we watched. And one of the questions was that we had to write a paragraph on 3 things that you liked about the movie and 3 things that they could have done better.
Right.
And so, like, as you're watching it and you're learning and stuff, like, it actually, like, made me start thinking about, like, movie critiques. Like, because I go into a movie, I find the joy in them. I find things that I like about them. I typically don't look for the bad.
Yeah.
But it actually helped my thinking system. Like, okay, I got to find things that would be bad. And then it was like, and you're not necessarily looking for bad things,
Right.
but you're helping your mind learn that you can look at both directions.
It helps you learn to think on a different path that maybe you don't normally do.
Yeah.
Which in turn is higher learning, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, because listen, no secret, I'm very pro Second Amendment. I am.
Yeah.
What?
No way.
Weird, huh?
Look at your hat.
What is it? Which one do
It
I
has
have on?
nothing to do
Oh,
with
it's taxidermy.
Oh,
I'm just saying, it's a
I
hunting
mean, it
hat
kind of
pretty
does.
much.
so
Can't taxidermy something that's alive.
do bow and arrows fall under?
no, they're not a firearm.
See?
Can you imagine though? You
we all-
break into his house and he doesn't pull out a gun, but he gets
Pulls
out a bow,
and
bro.
arrow. Freaking
You're just in there like you're stealing stuff, minding your own business, and then just like
freaking
Why?
freaking Hawkeye over there.
imagine the mind f on that guy. He's like, what?
This is morbid, but I wouldn't do that because that would be very messy. And I don't want to clean up other people's stuff.
Oh man.
But so I was like, okay, I'm trying not to look at this biased. But at the same time, so I was like, why not have both perspectives and then you can have a talk about it. That's the problem with. Anyways, I started getting into all these ramblings about it, but I just was like, that's crazy to me.
So what is she doing about it? Because I feel like that's an injustice.
She hasn't done anything. That's the thing.
I feel like she could go
probably-
to the school.
Right?
She needs to,
Hopefully, she probably feels like she can't do anything.
right? Well, that's the problem, though, is if you
What-
feel you can't do anything and everybody stops trying, then
What class
Then
is this
what?
for?
sociology class.
Dude, I totally think. I mean, I don't know where she's going, but I'd imagine it's one of the universities around here.
Yeah.
Dude, I think you could easily go to the dean and be like, "Hey, this." Like,
Unless-
I did the assignment.
I mean, unless in the curriculum there is plans to do an assignment in the future, or not in the future, but like maybe this assignment is for gun control, and then maybe there is plans within the next week or two to do an assignment against.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but from what she's saying, she doesn't think so. Because there's been quite a few assignments that are questionable like that. It's just, I don't like one-sided thinking. I think it's dangerous.
Yeah. No,
I mean, there's statistics and stuff about how like the majority of college professors are left leaning.
yeah.
Like there's very few that are on the right anymore.
Yeah.
Because they're getting pushed out.
Which to me is fine. But I mean, you shouldn't be pushing.
But the
shouldn't
problem
be
is that
pushing your
they're not,
agenda
they're
there.
not
Narrative.
left leaning and then not acting like they're left leaning.
Right.
They're all acting left leaning. They're all pushing their side of the narrative, like this example exactly.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, you have to say why it's bad because it is bad, and you have to know that it's bad and tell me why it's
It's
bad.
engineering. That's exactly what it is. It's training
not
you to
critical
think in a
thought.
thought process that is pertaining to what they want you to act like, I guess. in
Yeah,
a sense.
because I mean, the whole point of college was higher education,
Right.
learning to look at the world a different way, but like more critically, both ways, not being stuck on one side.
I never see, and I think I've said this before, but it's not anybody's job to teach you what to think. It's how to think, and then you can come to your own, your own informed decision on your own. But
Yeah.
I mean, to be a teacher is very. I mean, it's a emotional job. I mean, it's got to be. You've got to have heart in it. You know what I mean? So I praise that because I hear from what I've come to understand, conservatives are very, very logical, right? Very logical. Everything's logic based. Everything's fact, this and that. And when you go liberal, it's emotional based. A lot of it's emotional based, and let's all just talk about all of it and come to an understanding.
That's the problem. Is it needs to be more in the middle
yeah,
because you.
checks and
If you're
balances for sure.
if you're all emotional, you're going to make terrible decisions.
Right.
If you're only logical, you're going to make very harsh decisions.
Exactly.
So you need to find that middle ground from both sides, where you think logically, but go, okay, sprinkle a little feeling in there. Okay, it's like, yeah, it should be this way, but we can maybe bend a little bit here to like, be more thoughtful
Compromise.
of this group or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a marriage.
Exactly, it really is.
Well, it's because life isn't black and white, right?
Right.
Like there is a
There's
definite
no simple
gray
answer.
area.
There's
And
no
there-
simple answer.
Bingo.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
For what?
All right.
For having a podcast,
Yeah.
For having a brain, for thinking for yourself.
for being a free thinker.
I ramble a little bit.
That was a they call those conversations.
Then I'm not sorry.
Good.
Okay.
You have nothing to be sorry for.
Why does it sound like we're arguing?
Remember that comedian?
When did we get mad?
I'm pretty sure somebody sent it in the group chat, but it's essentially like when he goes to a women's march, and he's like, man, I'm here. I support you guys 100%. Like, I went to a women's march, and you're like, we should be able to sleep with whoever we want. He's like, yes. He's like, we should be able to get rid of the baby. He's like, hopefully. He's like, see, we agree on so much. And I'm like, he's a funny dude. I can't remember his name, but he's freaking funny.
Is that the guy that? No, it can't be the same guy. I was gonna say that.
He's like a tall white guy, kind of shorter hair, a little scruffy beard. But he's pretty funny. He says a lot. He tries to get a rise out of people, and he jokes with them. But it's so funny, the way he does it. Like everyone still enjoys it.
Gotcha. Any other news?
I'm a year older.
Yeah.
We were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually
great.
really fun, man. We all got to go out to dinner to celebrate Tony's birthday.
We
That
all
was
felt a
neat.
year older after waiting as long as we did.
Oh my gosh.
Joe,
But my
man.
gosh, that food was still so delicious.
It was
It was
great.
good food.
Yeah, that was good.
But man, that's one frustration is it seems like ever since COVID, there's just no such thing as a reservation anymore.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense. Because
Right.
during COVID,
You'd think it'd be more
that would have
efficient.
been the most efficient way to do things. And in some ways, like in my work, we ended up doing more appointments.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand the restaurant business nowadays anymore.
Let's hear your news
What news?
with work.
Oh yeah. The video you sent.
Any updates? First, yeah.
Not that I know of. So the place in which I work was robbed. I was not there during the robbery. They got away with like 50 grand worth of stuff.
50 grand.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
But it's all
They got away with
That's like 12 items.
They got away with all both of them.
but
There were like 4 of them.
they're all demo products though, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, they're all, that's the thing is they can't they're no use to them. Like they don't work. They have their provision to, even if they were to erase them and try to reinstall operating systems, it would pop up and be like, "Hey, sign into this Apple ID to unlock this," and it does not. There's no way around it,
Okay.
and so it's a brick essentially. But what I assume they're gonna do is they're gonna, as quickly as possible, probably have multiple fake accounts on Facebook Marketplace, Twitter, whatever, anywhere you can sell stuff.
Yeah.
And they're going to try to sell it to people looking for cheap products.
Sell them for like $100,
trick
$200.
them into
like-
buying them
Yep.
with them being locked and useless and then disappearing. Because we have people come in all the time. They're like, "Hey, I bought this on like eBay. It's signed in with their Apple ID," and we're like, "Ooh, it sucks, man. You're screwed.
You can't do
Like,
anything.
We can't do anything. It is
Really?
locked." Yeah. So back in the day when theft was really high with these Apple devices, like they were, people were getting them stolen all the time. So Apple created this structure of activation lock. So essentially, the second you sign into an Apple ID on an Apple device, it is now locked to you until you sign out of it and delete the device. But if you never sign out of it and it gets deleted, pops up and it's like, enter Apple ID, and it has it basically all grayed out except for like the first and last thing.
Yeah.
It's like, enter this in the password to use it.
So if you're buying like a used phone or something like that, you have to make sure the previous owner signs out of it.
Yes. So word to the wise, don't buy an Apple device unless you know that they've signed out of their iCloud.
You just
So
did a good deed.
basically, sorry, what'd you say?
I said you just did a great deed.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hopefully, yeah.
So for anyone, I mean, if you're buying an Apple device, clearly you want to be in person, make sure it turns on, and make
Yeah,
sure
turn
that
it on. Go through the setup, because it'll ask you in the setup process like 4 pages in.
Oh, for the ID,
Choose
if it
language,
is.
choose country, hook up to an Apple ID, and then it's like boom. Or I mean, hook up to Wi-Fi, and it's like, hey, type in this Apple ID. This device is activation locked.
Gotcha.
And so if you can't get past that,
It's useless.
it's garbage.
Interesting.
Because the people who sold it to you will disappear off the face of the planet.
Got you. That's good. Yeah, I bet you just saved a bunch of people.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, so that's
Money on
what
their
I
car
assume though,
insurance.
is it's it's a hot potato. They're trying to get it sold and disappear. That's the only way they're going to make money on it.
Oh, that makes me
Now,
so
is there
mad.
any protection through that through like PayPal? Do you know? Like if you're buying
I
something
think it
on
depends
Amazon
on how you buy it.
or not Amazon, eBay.
I don't know. I mean, eBay probably does. eBay's one of the better ones with that kind of stuff.
Right.
Where I think you can reach out and be like,
was
hey,
gonna
this
say,
is
I
what
think
happened.
PayPal's the same way. They kind of help guarantee
Yeah.
the purchase. But
And probably some credit cards. But I mean, if they're selling it on like Craigslist
Yeah.
or Facebook Marketplace or KSL or any other news
yeah,
because that's all just
a
that's Wild
classifieds
West.
type.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I think what made me so mad about that video was how nonchalant they were.
Oh, it's because they knew.
At
Yeah,
first,
they
when I was
just
watching
came
it,
in
I'm
and
like,
started
what am I
grabbing.
watching? Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? Like they're just
They just did not care.
It was the last guy that actually like made it look like he was robbing something, and he
And it was
was
only
trying
because
to.
he got separated from the
Yeah.
herd.
He's like,
Yeah.
Hey guys, wait!
Yeah. They panic like, oh, he's leaving me.
You can find on KSL, there's actually like some of our security footage, which we think they probably got from the police. But like full on security footage of it happening, and like
Crazy.
we all just have to stand there or leave.
That's what they tell us at work too.
Well,
Number one rule of being robbed is stay calm, and then number 2 is
Give
just
them the
don't
die pack.
engage.
do what they want.
Oh,
Well, do what they say, and then if you can safely do it, then give them your bait money and pull your alarm. But if you can't, and you have to pull your alarm after they leave, then you do that.
After
But-
you shoot him in the
Wait,
ass.
the bait money, is it like attached to the alarm?
follow the blood
Like
trail.
when you grab it, it just sets off an alarm?
No.
Are you saying yes?
Oh, it is? Oh, see, when I was a teller, it wasn't.
Yeah,
It was separate.
we have. I don't know if I should say,
No, we got nothing. No tricks.
but
Gotcha.
we were saying though, kind of on the slightly same thing. We were talking about it one day, and it's like, what the movies portray. I mean, granted, we're not one of the big, huge financial institutions that you see in the movies, but it's like there's really not that much money. And so when people,
That's because it's fake.
well, like
Not backed by anything.
we've always said, we're
Well,
like,
and it's
if
probably
people,
even less now.
right? It is. I mean, there's really just not much. And like 90% of it is like locked up to where if you came in to rob, we can't get to it. It's all in like machines and like ATM type stuff. So it's like, if you come in and want what's in the drawer, you're not walking away with much. Like not
Yeah.
enough to actually be worth it.
Yeah, because I remember when I was a teller, they only let us have like a max. I think it was like $1,000 or $2,000, and then on top of that, all the money in the safe at the time. I think the biggest count that I ever did in the safe was like 200 grand, but that was like a very particular day. We had like a giant deposit of something. I can't remember what. Beyond that, it was like the biggest deposit in the safe was like 50 grand. If you ever needed more than that, you had to special order it, and they actually had to like bring, then
A
the
horse and carriage with a safe on it.
horse and carriage with a safe on it. They'd the
Scattergun.
guys with the AK-47s would step off. They'd load the
Right.
But yeah, I mean, banks don't hold that much money.
They really don't.
You like step back in this giant vault, and the steel doors are like a foot thick, and you're like, oh yeah, where's the money at?
I remember.
And then they open this little tiny door. And it slides open. And there's just like a little tiny stack of cash that's about this wide. And you're like, that's it?
Where's the bars of gold? And
Yeah,
like,
what?
Yeah, I saw a blank check. Where's that big one?
This is a joke, right?
well, and, well,
Unless you have a safety deposit area, right? That's in a vault.
it is.
Yeah, it's-
But honestly, most people are keeping documents in their safe deposit boxes.
How much
Like-
are those safety deposit boxes?
Oh, they're cheap. The most expensive one I think is like $50 a year.
What?
Oh,
Dude, I need one.
Yeah, I've
gonna
got
get
so many
one.
documents I need to go put in.
It makes
Honestly-
way more sense.
Honestly, I would almost just recommend go buy yourself a small safe and keep it in your house.
Fire
That's what I
safe.
do already.
Yeah.
But it's if you ever have a fire.
That's what you
Well,
buy.
you get a fire safe.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but they're only rated for like an hour, 2 hours.
Let's test it.
you put out the fire fast.
Well, the safe deposit
all rated
boxes aren't
differently.
fireproof.
Yeah, but they're behind a giant steel door.
That's assuming the door gets shut if the branch is on
Hey,
fire.
Austin, that's an oven.
I'm just saying, you're not melting through that door, man. At least not the one at
But
where
you
I
could
used
Jet
to
fuel,
work.
bro.
It'll burn. It'll still get hot
Burn
in
Those are
there.
steel beams.
They're gonna crash an airplane into the building. Hey, if that happens, act to God.
I'm
man.
just saying, it's very mysterious that, their money went missing at the Pentagon, and it just so happened to be the documents were in the part that got hit by the plane.
That's true.
Have you ever seen two guns?
I've seen multiple. Like
I've seen
10,
like
20.
I think Chris has. Well, I'm not gonna mention, but I know.
But I don't think I
someone.
ever actually saw
The
it.
guys are
movie
funny.
I know.
with Denzel and Mark
Oh.
Wahlberg.
No.
No.
Great movie. Highly
Amazing
recommend it.
movie.
But there is this like small podunk little bank in this small town that happens to use one of the safety deposit boxes for drug money. And they hit this bank to rob it, to thinking they're going to walk away with like, what was it, like 100 grand, 200 grand maybe in cash.
Yeah.
And they start popping these safe deposit box open, and there's just cash everywhere. And they're like, I don't think this is right. And so they just start loading it up and take off and end up becoming they're intertwined with this whole drug thing and everything. But it's like, I've always just wondered that. It's like, you think you're just this innocent little small bank credit union, and all of a sudden you realize you're actually a middle ground for some drug heist or something.
Some cartel's money. That's you don't mess with cartel money. You don't do it. They find you.
How do you know?
I've seen stuff. I've seen some stuff.
You seen some stuff?
I'm sure you have. You've seen more. Remember?
I have.
Back when you were on TikTok and he ended up on cartel talk, or I don't know.
Dude, that stuff's whack.
He somehow got onto an algorithm that was showing him like full on cartel videos, like people getting shot.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, dude, people getting lit up.
Jeez.
Scary.
Yeah, it was terrifying. That right there solidified. I'm like, my kids are just
I'm gonna
never
give you
getting
to
on
the
social
count
media,
of 10
man.
to get you yellow. No good.
There's
Dirty, rotten.
there's some news.
Out of here.
There's some
Before I
news.
pump you
Oh,
full of
yeah.
lead.
On TikTok.
What about it?
So I remember we talked a while back, and it might have been just me and you, or we did bring it up in the podcast. But we all know TikTok is owned by ByteDance, which is a Chinese company, which also has connections directly to the Chinese government.
China.
Well, I remember Austin a long time ago. He's like, yeah, like the form of TikTok that they use in China is very different than the one they send to the rest of us.
Right.
And I remember having a conversation at work with a couple people who were a little left leaning on that kind of stuff. And they're like, no way. There's nothing wrong with China would never do that. No, there's no way. And then lo and behold, like a week ago, there was a 60 Minutes episode, and they were interviewing this guy, and he flat out was like, he's like the form of TikTok used in China for anyone under like 14, they have an allotted time. They can only be on like, I think it was like 40 minutes a day or something. It was really small. And
Well,
they only
their entire social media thing, or even screen time, I think is only like an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah,
isn't it?
and they only see educational content, like content on how to be a better person, content on how to build a business, how to be successful, science experiments, all this like educational stuff, and then the one they send out to the rest of the world has none of that. Like they claim there's things you can turn on, but no, nobody does. So I like how he described it. He calls they keep the spinach version and they send the opium to everyone else. Because now you have everyone watching just garbage after garbage. Nothing. You're losing time. You're wasting so much time staring at these useless videos that don't make you better. If anything, they make you feel self-conscious. They make you feel like you're not doing that great, like kind of depressed. He said that a poll of like 8 to 15-year-olds in China and in America asking what they wanted to be. In America, the overwhelming majority said influencer. They want to be a social media influencer.
No.
In China, the overwhelming majority wanted to be an astronaut.
Oh, wow.
So just think,
Holy crap.
a couple generations down the road,
We're going to have a bunch
where
of
our
Chinese
countries are going to
astronauts.
end up.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm going to move to Canada, dude.
Florida.
Canada's probably not better off.
Trudeau.
But yeah, it's wild. Like the proof is out there, and like I've seen another couple news articles talking about like the severity and like the worry of TikTok and stuff. Because we know, like, if you watch that Joe Rogan podcast, we know that they're siphoning personal information right off your phone, out of your clipboard. They have keyloggers, so they can track passwords and everything you type into your phone, like microphone, camera, all that stuff.
Yep.
But the hard thing is they're literally, all of you, most of you are listening to this right now, and you're probably thinking to yourself, man, that's terrible. And then as soon as this is over, you're going to be like, TikTok.
Yeah, right. You know what, though? I was reading through the comments, and there was someone, sorry, I don't remember the username, but someone was like, I uninstalled TikTok once I looked at my the details on my phone, and it was
The
saying
screen
that
time?
my screen time on TikTok was 10 hours in a week. She's like 10 hours. She's
Yeah.
like, I deleted it then.
That's why I did it.
Yeah, just wasting so much time. There's so much you can do in 10 hours, and
Oh, yeah.
it's so easy to do.
It's that dopamine. It's literally. They say that it can be as addictive as like drugs, like
Oh,
actual
definitely.
drugs.
Well, there's those like pleasure sensors in your brain, and everything pleasurable hits a certain amount of those sensors. And so, yeah, 100%, I'm sure it's hitting plenty.
I think
Yeah.
you can die from pleasure.
Oh yeah,
If you
dude.
hit all the different
Be
sensors.
the way to go.
That's drugs
All of them, though.
all at once.
So like drugs and sex
I
while
Yeah.
watching TikTok.
Yeah.
I heard
getting
there's
massage.
I heard there's five of
foot
those
massage.
sensors, and I heard that pornography is actually one of the only things that hits all five.
It's a reason it's a problem in the world.
It's good cardio, though.
Pornography?
Only if you're a switch hitter.
About that.
So I've got to change up notes. I've got a few things here on my
Yeah.
in the news notes. First off, I don't know what caused it other than just seeing the video, but it was horrific. Was that airplane crash at the Texas Air Show?
yeah.
Dude, absolutely wild.
So sad.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
That little plane looks like it was already out of control.
Like targeting it almost.
Yeah.
But they were saying I tried to watch it a few times, and it's just honestly, it's hard to watch knowing that was the last moments of a few people. But I was trying to watch and understand, because they were saying basically when that small airplane was banking, you're not seeing, like, obviously you can't see through the steel floor. So they were saying that airplane was just clearly in its blind spot and you didn't see it. But it just, you're like, aren't these guys rehearsing this all the time? Like, wouldn't you know to watch or
Right.
or
Maybe
to
that
like
was
come
a-
in a different
Like-
approach?
I don't know. Yeah, like I would try to be aware. Like even when you're driving your car, you're just aware. Like if you pass a car, you're aware of its position the whole time until you're far out of its way.
Yeah.
You know, like you'd think they'd be fully aware and constantly thinking of where it is in relation to them. But again, you never know. Like,
Yeah.
could have maybe dude had a seizure. Maybe like something else happened.
Yeah.
It's like
Stick
maybe he
malfunction.
blacked
Part of me
out.
almost
It's like he
wonders.
turned into it, though.
Yeah.
Part of me almost wonders if there was a science to it, to where the bigger plane somehow took the lift away from the smaller plane.
yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
got too close and somehow the air, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. There was also, and this was actually a few months ago. There was also another mishap at an air show. Wasn't that up in?
Wasn't there one here?
It wasn't
No.
here. It was just after here. It was
it
the
the-
show immediately following the one at Hill Air Force Base.
The
And it-
truck, right?
Yeah, the truck had
Yeah.
a mishap. The flame. It's like it did.
It's like it was a rocket truck, right?
Yeah.
And it lit on fire and killed the driver.
Yeah, and so it's, I don't know. I think it's kind of weird that 2 air shows in 1 year had catastrophic events. I don't remember
sad.
that. I don't remember any events like that happening at air shows.
I mean, I remember watching videos when I was younger. I remember this one stuck with me. It was an air show and these guys were skydiving and they were like supposed to cross kind of one after another and their timing was off and they went right into each other and one of them, his arm went into the other dude's legs and like ripped him off
what?
because they were going so fast. I
Really?
remember watching that
His
as a kid. I'm
arm,
like,
his
would
arm
think
cut the
You
leg
think
off.
the leg
Yeah.
would work?
That's what I was thinking.
I think his arm was pretty jacked up too, but he like, dude, it was wild.
because he was doing this. And so
He's
it
like,
acted like a
He
sword.
was Superman.
Sorry, that's not funny.
It's kind of funny. I'm sorry. Tragic things can be funny. It's how we cope. All right, you got your ways, we got ours.
Who was that? Daniel Tosh cracking jokes
Yeah.
about the roller coaster?
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Superman thing.
Oh, no. Wasn't it Daniel Tosh though about the roller coaster? And he was talking about like a kid that lost his leg on a ride or something.
Oh, that sounds
And he
so
was
familiar.
like, "How'd you break your leg?" And every time he has to, relive the moment in his head because he like somehow killed a kid. I can't remember. It's like he hit his leg against another.
Didn't like he kicked his head
Two
or
roller
something?
coasters, yeah, were like passing each other. I don't remember. Anyway,
Oh, there was in 2011, 11 people were killed in Reno, Nevada, when a P-51 Mustang crashed into spectators.
really?
And then 2019, a bomber crashed in Hartford, Connecticut.
Apparently, I just listen a lot more to the news now, so that's worrisome because I promised myself I'd never be that person.
Right, dude? So did I.
Getting old.
So did I.
Speaking of roller coasters, did you hear Disney bought a patent to a trackless roller coaster?
I
Dude,
saw that.
I sent that to the group.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How freaking rad!
I wouldn't do
Right?
it.
Here's the thing, though. Knowing, like, a lot of big companies will buy up patents almost to stop other people from doing things. They may not have plans to even do it, or at least not for 20, 30 years, but they're just stopping other people.
And why would they do that?
Because either they think it's a terrible idea, or they want to. They're like, okay, this could be
Corner
something
the market.
sometime down the road.
That's one thing I will commend Elon Musk for, and maybe you guys have seen this, but he will actually make their patents public,
Open. Yeah.
open. And his goal isn't to solidify Tesla's standing, it's to push the future.
Yeah.
And so it's like all of Tesla's patents are open to use. He's like, if you can build it better, by all means.
Right.
He's like, if we go under because we can't compete, that's on us, not because of patents.
And the competition is good.
And that's
what we want.
amazing. I
Right.
love that.
Or they can't control their car, one or the other.
You know what? I love it because that's
segue.
exactly where I was going,
Oh,
buddy.
look at you.
Yeah,
Impressive.
I knew
You're
one
welcome.
of you guys would
You're
bring it up.
welcome.
So, this is interesting. So, I sent this to you guys. I actually titled it in my notes, Tesla Runaway Car. Look, it's even right there, right next in the notes.
See?
So,
You're welcome.
there is a video going viral. I don't know if we can actually throw it on the screen because I don't know if there's like rights to it or what. But basically, the premise is was it in China?
It's not hard to find. Just look up Tesla crash China.
Yeah. Anyway, the claim is there's a Tesla that's pulling up to a stall to then do auto park.
I say, was there anybody in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was someone in it. And the auto park feature does exactly that. Like you go, I would imagine, I don't have a Tesla, but I would imagine the auto park feature is you press a button that says park and it literally will map out and parallel park for you or, find a stall or whatever. And so apparently what happened, and the claim is that the guy pulled up, told it to auto park, and instead of even starting the process, it just
Skynet
takes
kicked
off.
in.
Yeah, Skynet kicks in and it just launches. It takes off, almost immediately hitting a guy on a motorcycle.
It's Genesis.
And then he passes it. And then there's like 10 camera angles from then on of it just flipping through the camera angles as this Tesla is just flying.
At first, I watching that. At first, I was like, I mean, it's going fast, but you're like, okay, yeah, And then a couple camera shots later, it's like, boom. It's like just
Dude,
a
it's
puff of
like
smoke,
the
like
dust
the
that
dust.
it kicks up.
It's like,
Yeah.
holy crap!
And so it looks, and the claim is that this car literally just takes off on its own bewilderment, and the guy cannot stop it. He doesn't know how to turn it off. He's like, he says that he's tried pressing the brakes, nothing happened.
He lived.
Yes, he did.
Wow.
I don't know how.
Yeah, right. It gets obliterated.
When the news article said 2 people died, I assumed one of them was the driver.
No, but
I
he's
assumed there were 2 people in the car.
Well, the one car it hits at the end, I was like, that's definitely
tuck.
one of them.
this. That's a dark comment. I was gonna say this is exactly why I want to buy a Tesla, though, because if that dude lived, that thing is safe, bro. That car is.
You're not wrong.
It's very safe.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this car is just flying. We can't tell how fast he's going, but it looks like he's easily going over 100 miles an hour, if not 150.
He got up to 123.
123.
Oh.
And he is just flying, swerving, trying to miss people, and eventually crashes into apparently a car. It looked to me like it was like a
It
building.
hit a car and then went into a building.
Yeah.
It's like a little tuk-tuk. It's like a three-wheeled buggy thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought it was at first. I thought it was like a motorcycle because it was smaller than
Yeah.
a car. But yeah,
We could throw that on the video, right?
We can try and see what happens.
Yeah, let's try it. It's not. I mean, here's the thing, guys. If it gets demonetized, I guess we'll figure it out.
Well, here it is.
Yeah. So let's. Well, can you pull it up and we'll all watch it together? Because there's a point in there that I want to make on it.
Yes, sirree, Bobby Joe.
Thanks, man. So there's a few things to note. Tesla got a hold of the debugging on the car, and there is nothing in the car log that says that the brakes were ever pressed in an attempt to stop the car. So as you can see, it takes off, immediately swerves and misses the guy, and then it just starts flying.
so that initial swerve to miss that first bike, is that the driver
Yes.
controlling that?
And the claim is that it's autopilot at this point. But it's driving so erratic
Right.
that makes it like that it's not. So, because how do I word it?
So they're questioning
autopilot.
if the guy was almost being suicidal about it. or-
Basically, the idea is that whoever the driver is, pause it real quick. And
Auto drive.
it's way more obvious on this big screen, so I'm happy about this. So, one, as you're watching, you can see that there are no brakes ever being pressed. The tail lights are never illuminated. And then also right here, you'll notice, and it's hard to see on a small phone, but I think you paused it right at the right spot. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure.
So
Wait, go ahead.
on a phone, it's hard to see, but right here, that little three-wheeled buggy right there, it gets hit, it turns over, and it ignites, it looks like. But then there's a CGI animated cloud that pops up over it. And at first look, you don't notice it. But then if you rewatch it time and time again, it becomes very apparent, and it actually bleeds into the second camera angle, the next one. So it's almost like, so watch, it gets hit, boom, there's the cloud, and it bleeds into the next camera angle.
What?
And it's impossible to see that on a phone,
What the
especially if
freak,
you're not paying
dude?
attention. Now, the other thing that I've also noticed is if you actually scrub through and look at the timelines on the camera, there's about a 20-minute differential, if not more, in the timestamp. So there's 6:58, and there's like other angles show around like 6:40, 6:30 something. So it's like you're telling me this guy is flying down these
So
streets.
6:42 is when he parks.
There's brake lights.
No, those are running lights.
Oh.
And then he takes off. So it's got to be like 6:43. And by the time
Like you're telling me this guy's driving at 100 and some odd miles an hour, weaving in and out of traffic for 20
7?
minutes. Yes, and then it goes in backwards.
Yeah.
And then it goes backwards here in a little bit where it like goes back to like 6:50 or something like that.
Still 7. And then it jumps back. So I mean,
Unless the videos
6:49.
See, and it bounced back right there, just like that. 6:49. So that it jumped 20 minutes forward,
6:58.
back, forward. So none of these shots are lining up. And so isn't that so weird? Look at
Did
this.
you see it, Zach?
Nope.
So
Can't
watch
see
this.
So watch the cloud pop up.
Watch the blue car. Right there.
Oh.
And then it goes into the next angle.
I didn't notice that when I
I
first
never
watched it.
saw
People-
that on the
So
phone.
the claim is obviously that the guy autopilot failed and went erratic. But Tesla has gone into the debug mode on the car.
Yeah.
No indication of ever pressing the brake. So from what we can gather, the guy or the driver must have misplaced the gas for the brake So instead of pressing the brake, he just went full
And
floor
then
on the
in
gas.
a panic, he just kept pushing it.
For 20 minutes.
But again, the cameras are so far off. And
It's a conspiracy
It
to bring
almost-
down Tesla.
exactly.
Maybe.
So that's the next thing
Because
is
where's it coming from?
China. And Elon Musk just bought Twitter.
Right.
Oh,
So
I didn't even put. Oh,
So they're like, how can we bring him down? Okay, we'll make one of his other companies go belly, or
Well,
like
because the other thing is,
conspiracy.
didn't this accident happen in like it was like the beginning of November,
Did it happen that long ago?
November 5th.
Yeah. So that
And
that
they
was
didn't
only
report on it for weeks.
that was only like a week ago.
This report wasn't until November 14th. So
12 days
oh,
ago.
okay.
12 days ago, right? What day is it?
today's the 17th.
Oh. No.
Anyway, it's wild, man. I mean, for conspiracy, that seems like, if you're asking me, it looks like a video that they were like, hey, how can we piece this together to make it look
I
realistic?
thought China was better at CGI than that.
Right, that's pretty bad.
See, and also last year's Shanghai Auto Show, a woman named Zheng Yazou climbed onto a Tesla to protest against the company's supposed response to her complaints about faulty brakes in her father's vehicle, which she said had crashed. Tesla has accused the woman of being part of a professional scheme.
I get what it is. So they're giving us the shitty version of TikTok, and we're giving them the shitty Teslas.
yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
We're giving them the TikTok Teslas.
Take that.
But apparently both that person and Tesla have sued each other for defamation.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Company has also gone after critics in China that have accused the company of bad business practices or producing faulty vehicles. In December, the company's Shanghai factory recalled 21,599 Model Ys, which that was, citing problems with steering components.
Yeah, but what could that be?
So, dude.
I mean, that could be a
That's what-
simple warranty.
So I could understand the discrepancy in the time on the cameras just being that they're old type cameras and people probably just don't have their date and time set right. I mean, that's something you could say if you were the one believing that this was all just an
that
accident.
far off on time,
Right?
Each and every
Are
single
those
one
supposed
of them?
to be in order, though? Maybe they got the
I mean,
videos out
you
of
would
order.
believe.
Well, here's the thing. The
Right.
car traveled at 123 miles for 1.6 miles.
That's it. Okay, that
I mean,
doesn't-
we're
that would
talking a
not take
60-second.
20 minutes. Literally 30 seconds it took for it to take off and crash.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's the missing piece I was
Oh.
looking for.
Oh, okay.
So for
Gotcha.
those cameras to be
There it is.
20 plus minutes off
Right.
when they're security cameras,
Yep.
like the primary function of it is to provide security for your business or persons.
But here's the thing: is none of them are looking at businesses; they're looking at the roads.
yeah,
So
that's the other thing.
They're not.
and it's
they're
like
most likely government. What are you smiling at, Tony?
This is creepy.
I'm just saying.
and on top of that, one of the comments was like, so wait, we're supposed to believe that in this rural area in China, they just happen to have all this footage of a Tesla just flying down a 1.5 mile area, all these different camera angles.
Yeah.
Let alone owning a Tesla in the first place.
I don't know.
I mean,
That's
not
true,
to
bro.
not to sound bad, but I'm serious. Like
Like,
you
I
got
don't
all
even
these
think we can
guys
get this
going
quality in
around in these
America.
little.
Yeah, that's
What?
it.
Farmers
I don't
care
think we
about
get
the environment.
this video quality in America.
Yeah. And we don't get those CGI clouds either, man.
Dude, that is the weirdest part.
That is the highest quality cloud I've ever seen in my
and
life.
that's on. This is on the friggin' what is it? New York Times, Sunday Times.
My brain looked past that at first, and then when you pointed it out,
Yeah,
then it's like,
Dude, it
what?
stands right out.
Right.
I didn't see it either until I was reading through the comments, and I was like, "What
like,
are they
what the
talking
freak
about?"
is that about?
Huh.
I don't know, man. Conspiracy much? I like it. I like conspiracy.
That's freaking weird, dude.
crazy.
That,
crazy.
you know, then China and Russia buying up all the gold, friggin' trying to knock down some of our biggest exporters, you know, hey. Something sketchy's happening.
Hey, on a light note, I thought this was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Jeff Bezos planned to pledge the majority of his $124 billion wealth.
To me?
I mean, to charities, man.
Whose charities?
I don't know.
What charities?
I don't know.
Is her name Charity?
The NBA. That's the name of the new yacht.
The WNBA.
You guys saw that,
who was
right?
it? Yeah, was it you that said
Yeah.
that?
Isn't that
he
sickening?
could buy all the NBA teams and still have how much left?
Crap ton of
Well,
money.
so he could buy all. Let me see. I think I took a screenshot of it.
All the NBA teams for like $36 billion.
No, it was like 60.
3.
We're gonna start fighting on imaginary numbers till we
I don't know.
figure it out.
Yeah, I'm just
It
going
wasn't
to
even in
do
the
it.
billions, was it?
It was billions.
Was it billions?
Yeah, it was billions because you have to pay a few billion for an NFL team. But anyway, it was like
I saw that Bezos.
premise was is he could buy all the NBA, all 30 NBA teams for like 68 billion and still have 120 some odd billion left over.
Wouldn't that be nice?
And he's not even the richest man in the world.
Isn't he
Isn't
looking?
that wild?
Is it him that is looking to buy the Washington
Commanders.
Commanders?
Yeah, he's looking to buy it with Jay-Z.
Oh man,
How funny would that be?
Jay-Z and
The
Jeff
white-
Bezos business partners.
I don't know, man. Jay-Z's a smart business partner.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean,
Dude.
I'd argue that Bezos is smarter.
Yeah.
But does he love what he does?
I bet he does.
Oh, yeah.
But see,
Because
you
he
need,
probably
to have,
doesn't do anything.
you need to have a brother
True.
to
He
reach
needs-
out
he
to
needs
that
street
demographic.
cred, man.
He needs the street cred.
You seen him trying to be cool? He's a goofy dude, that Bezos.
Dude,
So is Elon,
when he went through that
He's
divorce,
mostly just socially awkward.
yeah, when he went through that divorce with his ex-wife, and he started like lifting heavy and getting all jacked and wearing all the like
Tight
clothes,
shirts and like the aviators.
and then he started like buying those expensive bottles of champagne and
Yep.
started getting surrounded by all these hot girls. He's like, man, that guy's going through a power trip right now.
Yeah, he is.
He's
Midlife
trying the Bruce Wayne thing for sure.
midlife crisis of one of the richest men in the world.
Maybe he's turning into Batman.
Hey, on the flip side, I'll give some props to the Zuck, man. I saw footage of that dude practicing some jujitsu. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
The Zuck doing some jujitsu?
Who's the Zuck?
Zuckerberg.
Mike Zuckerberg.
Dude,
Did
he
you say Mike?
Did I
Mark.
say Mike?
He said Mike.
I did.
it is Mike.
It is
Mark.
Mike.
I'm
Mark.
just kidding.
Duh.
That's his,
I was like, it sounds
The Mandela effect.
that's what we know him about.
No, I know Mike Zuckerberg.
Hey, I'll give him props,
That's
man.
his brother no
If
one hears
anything,
about.
he's at least trying to be Batman. He's got
Yeah.
the money.
He's a robot.
He is. He's got those creepy
He's
eyes.
not being Batman. He's being the villain. He's
Bro, every time he had to remember a couple years ago when he had to go like before Congress,
Oh yeah.
he made everyone in that room look so stupid.
Oh,
was
anyone
like,
could have made
"You're
everyone in that room
douche."
look stupid.
But my gosh, like literally the way he would answer their questions. I can't even remember what they asked. Someone asked him.
I
He's
was
like,
so happy that he did.
Congresswoman, that's
He was playing 3D
can't-
chess, man.
you can't. That's not a thing.
I loved it. I loved like the
Dude, it was
IT.
brutal.
The IT person in me was watching that, going, "Oh man, I wish I could witness this in person. This is glory."
This is like who wrote their questions.
Oh yeah, and he's like, I can't remember anything what the guy says. He's like, "Answer the question. Can it in the phone?" And he's like, what you're asking does not make any sense.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
bad.
I love it. The same thing has happened with who's the guy that owns Google or Alphabet? I can't remember. It's like something.
Sanjay, isn't it? It's not.
I can't remember his name. Anyway, he had to go before the judges too, and he was asking about location-based stuff, and he's just like, "Yes, if you give it permission to." And he's like, "That's not my question." And he's like, "But that's
Sundar Pichai.
Pichai, yeah." Anyway, I love watching old people just not grasp the
Technology.
questions that they're asking.
Who
It's
elected you
like-
guys?
Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, when you elect people like Fetterman, it's going to happen. Deep cut.
I'm like, you're above me, man. I don't even know what you just said.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, he's
No, he just got elected in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
He was running against Dr. Oz.
Oh, isn't he
suffered a
dead?
stroke,
oh that guy.
and it caused brain damage. The dude can't. He literally. Just look up videos. There's videos of him. Like, I feel bad for the dude But how the freak did he get elected? He goes up to, he's in Philadelphia and he's like, the Eagles are better than the Eagles. And the guy, like, that is just how his brain works now.
They're
and you're
multiplying in Washington.
like, what the freak? It's like, did he run into Biden?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Dude, I still watch that footage of him struggling. He's like, I'd no longer run than I fly. You know, or whatever his thought process
I no longer
is.
think of time as a fly does or something.
Yeah. I'm like, whoa,
That
dude.
man doesn't know what planet
I
he's
don't
on.
know. I don't know how these guys make it into. Anyway,
It's so sad. What else? Oh, did you any of you see this stuff? I've seen a little bit of it going around. Any of this stuff about FTX?
yes. So I don't know. Actually, do you know much about it? I've only been watching the stocks on it. That's hilarious. I don't know anything about it.
So essentially, you got this kid he was wicked smart.
So FTX is a cryptocurrency, much like Bitcoin, and there's
It's like a crypto. That's what I'm not fully sure on. It is similar to Bitcoin, but it was also like a trading platform.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
See, and this is what I find very interesting because there was a lot of celebrities promoting FTX,
Yeah.
including some of the biggest names being Gisele Bündchen and Tom Brady.
Oh, that's
And they had, like, I think their combined net worth, and granted this was before divorce, was around 600 million. And from what I understand, they had a good sum of their money tied up in FTX. And so when FTX crashed, I don't know how much money they have. I mean, they still got to have some
Well,
cash.
apparently they're among the celebrities being sued in a lawsuit against crypto company FTX.
Really?
Uh-huh. So essentially, Sam Bankman-Fried is this like super smart kid. Like very, very like book math smart, not, so very socially awkward. He creates this like crypto company with a bunch of friends and stuff. And yeah, they had a crap ton of money, billions of dollars under their like of people investing to them. And then they invested it in crypto and, did a bunch of stuff like that. Well, apparently it like tanked hardcore, like completely, the company completely unraveled a couple weeks ago. And now all this stuff is coming out about how shady and weird and all the crazy stuff that went on behind the scenes. Like there's billions of dollars missing, like billions of dollars of people's money who put it in, just gone, unaccounted for, disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
They apparently lived in a polyamorous relationship with him and like 9 other people in a Bahamas like condo, and they were the top people of this company. So they're all in a condo in the Bahamas, banging each other and using other people's money for everything.
jeez.
Like the business practices, they didn't have like good records on people donating even Bitcoin to them. Like they don't even know who their biggest backers were.
Well,
because
that's
they
just
don't
it,
have
is-
it written down.
Bitcoin is decentralized, right? So there's no tracking of it.
But they were trying to use it for, and this is where things get real sketchy. Sam Bankman was one of the biggest donors to Joe Biden during his election in 2020.
Right, right. So there was that whole conspiracy that we were aiding Ukraine with money. Ukraine was throwing its money into FTX.
And FTX.
And then FTX was then funding Democratic parties and their
Well, that just
elections.
happened. Like this recent election is where all that money came from. So he gave money to Biden back in 2020, and apparently I was watching this one video and they found some of his records, and on the ledger it just says Trump lose.
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So like they essentially were donating all this money to Democrats to bankroll them to beat Trump. And then now in this last midterm election, the money that was going to Ukraine and back into FTX ended up going out to a whole bunch of Democrat candidates.
Huh.
That's called money laundering.
I mean,
Well, and look at how much freaking money was
Not
sent
when
to
you're
Ukraine.
that high up, it's not.
well,
Guess not.
now they're wanting to send another
That's called
40 billion.
business.
Yeah, like what the freak? Why are we sending so much money to the Ukraine
to bankrupt U.S.
to launder it? Because the money's just like
Yeah,
It's
the
going
money's
out.
finding its way back to the Democrats, and they're the ones sending it out.
This has all been proved.
Yeah, like this is all coming out. Like they do have records of these. These are being reported in multiple news agencies. Like this is not good for them.
Dirty,
This is
dirty.
bad.
Not good for anybody, to be honest.
but
No.
that who is the owner of FTX?
It was Sam Bankman-Fried.
Sam Bankman, I think I just saw, had the biggest single day loss in cash, where he lost like 90+% of his investments. Like it was like billions of dollars that he lost within like a 24-hour period.
And he became the fastest billionaire or something like that. There's some statistic like he became a billionaire faster than anyone else ever
Really?
in history. And he was the richest man under 30.
Wow.
I wish.
But it's all gone now. And this
Yeah, FTX filed for bankruptcy just a few days ago.
Huh.
yeah, and there's even people who
But I mean, that just means the business could be bankrupt. Doesn't mean he's bankrupt. He might just be saying
no,
he
I think
lost
with
a
all
bunch
the
of money.
but all the like sketchiness, he's going to get sued out of his mind.
Yeah.
Like they literally were. I was reading one article just a minute ago where they were talking about how they would just like text emojis to be reimbursed. Like it was so non-traditional and non-professional
Really?
to its detriment. Yeah,
Huh.
like, and this money was just, they literally would just spend money that wasn't even theirs.
Weird. You know, on the flip side, and just because I mentioned them here in the FTX, what also was funny is Giselle and Tom Brady got divorced.
Mm-hmm.
But then Giselle just bought an $11.1 million mansion literally across the bay from Tom Brady. Like where Tom Brady is building his house, she literally just bought an existing home 100, maybe like 200 yards from his house.
What's your name?
Yeah,
What
right.
is your name?
Like how wild, man. I don't know. Anyway, I know we've pressed our hour. Do we want to hurry and talk about the Iran protesters?
Oh, heck yeah.
So I don't know much about this, I'll be honest. And then also I had one other on the Google Drive censorship, which I thought was freaking wild.
That's the one I sent. That was
Yeah.
nuts.
That is crazy. So, in Iran, and this is not, like I said, I don't know much about it, but going around on social media right now, there is a giant like sharing thing going on where basically there was a protest in Iran for women. I don't know if it's for them to be able to show their hair or if that's just how it started.
a
But
women's
basically it's for
rights.
women's rights march. Iran then arrested a bunch of these protesters and had in captivity, I think that they said there's about 15,000 of them. And then just recently, the courts in Iran came back and said that they were basically putting them to the death penalty. All 15,000 of them to basically silence these protesters on women's rights. And it all started with just hair, from what I understand, right?
Yeah, I think it's this is still protests from that, but I remember not too long ago that there was a woman in Iran killed because she wouldn't put on her burqa,
Yes.
and she was killed by like their morality police.
Really?
Yeah, basically these guys that go around forcing people to adhere to like their Sharia law and all that stuff.
Is that how it's pronounced?
Sharia law.
Sharia.
law, yeah.
Or is it Shirai? I don't know.
Sri Lanka.
Or is it like Sri Lanka?
Isn't that Sri Lanka?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was Sri Lanka.
No, it starts with an SH.
Welcome back. Hey, he's awake. I'm just kidding.
I'm awake. Isn't it called Sri Lanka?
It's Sri Lanka, SHRI. Do it.
I love
Look it
when
up.
he picks up his
Look it up.
phone to look up things like, I'm going to prove you wrong.
And then you hear nothing from him.
Is Snopes a good source?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their whole premise,
Right.
is to
So
be a great
Snopes.
source.
I was reading on this too, and they were saying that it was actually pushed by Justin Trudeau, saying that they're being
Yeah, he tweeted it.
right, saying that they're being executed, but there has not been set in stone that they are yet.
Yeah, I just barely looking it up. There was a ton of articles saying like, no, they didn't sentence 15,000 people. Like, here's what's wrong with it. Like, Justin Trudeau deletes tweet falsely claiming Iran sentenced people to death. Dude, nowadays I don't freaking know.
Yeah, yeah.
Like on October 10th, 22-year-old Masha Amini in morality police custody sparked protests when she died in police custody. Morality police custody sparked protests across Iran. Demonstrators calling for the downfall of the supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, citing her death and the subsequent protests. British said it had sanctioned the morality police in its entirety. Wait, what? Britain said it did? What do they know? But
You're having a conversation with yourself.
I am.
I love it. I love watching him think through things.
Right.
His voice changed. That's what worried me.
On Snopes, though, it did say that one protester was hastily executed, and that there are a number of protesters going to be executed. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still horrific.
It's maybe not all 15,000, but even
there
one is
there
too
are
many.
executions. Yeah,
I hate,
That's
to,
wild.
I hate to say it, but
So-
of all places to protest, like,
That's the hard
I mean,
thing.
more power to you.
Go
That's
big or go
awesome.
home.
Okay, well, how did America
Go
start?
hard.
Yeah. We
You
were
know
the
what I mean?
biggest
It's true.
protest
Yeah,
ever.
I guess. Yeah.
And that's the hard
And when
thing.
you believe that, that strongly in what you're protesting for, I guess death is nothing. Like,
Well,
at
I mean,
least-
but at
yeah.
the same time, it's more than just like. Granted, that's where it started was with the burqa, but it's not like that is just.
Oh,
the,
I know,
the
yeah.
tip of the iceberg.
That was the shot heard around the world,
Yeah.
as it were.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
It's-
you're considered property in some,
Yeah,
and
they're
that's just,
basically slaves, man.
that's what always blows my mind about all this stuff that goes on here with people like protesting, saying that America's so oppressive to women, and yet they'll say nothing about Iran. You won't say anything about literally like the current most oppressed, like female oppressed nation in the world. Like you literally can't show like skin.
is Iran the
true.
only one?
No, it's a lot. There's a lot of Islamic countries.
WWE goes to Saudi Arabia like 2 times a year, something like that. They do events out there, which was actually their last event that they did like back in March. Side story. Worst event they could ever call it.
Oh, no.
It's called the Elimination Chamber. That was the event that it was called, the Elimination
Jesus
Pay-Per-View.
Christ.
That
Who is
they
their
held,
PR guy?
Right, that they held over there.
That's Allah.
But anyways, the female wrestlers, when they come out, the only thing that they can be showing skin-wise is their head and their hair.
Huh.
Everything else has to be completely covered.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. And if they
wild.
don't, it's very offensive and
They
Like-
don't get no money.
pretty much like I don't know what
They get the death penalty.
the consequences
They'd probably
would
get
be.
arrested.
But
They'd
yeah,
probably
it's
be
very,
arrested.
very offensive.
Well, I mean, it's just like that. Was it a female basketball player? The WNBA.
Brittany Griner.
Brittany Griner, who took
joint.
marijuana into freaking Russia.
Yeah.
Marijuana?
Play stupid
dude.
games. Win stupid
And she's
prizes.
still in prison over there.
Yeah.
Did you
Well,
see
she
that
just
thing?
got sentenced.
Yeah,
9
to like
years.
9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
And
see
she's
that
gonna
thing
serve
I-
it.
For
Did you see that thing I
marijuana.
sent out earlier?
Is it you sent the one about the comedian?
Yeah, the comedian when he was just like, he's like, Russia's over here trying to, I know what's going to get them. I know what they care most about, the WNBA.
We're gonna ruin America by taking their star player.
And like you were saying, like with women's rights in America, listen, we all know that we have some gray areas in our history, but I feel we've always tried to progress and always done better.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Like it's, I mean,
WNBA.
Sorry, real quick on that comedian's joke. My favorite part is when he's like, yeah, I mean, kind of a bad joke, right? Name one team in the WNBA. And he's like, thank you.
He goes, and if you're getting offended by
That's
this
right.
joke, tell me one team in the WNBA. Case in point, thank you.
Holy crap! Yeah, I can't think of one.
No
Stars.
single one.
Nope, stars don't exist anymore.
Oh, never mind then.
It disappeared.
Okay. I just remember it was
they
the
used to be
Stars with the
Utahs.
double Z because it was the Jazz with the double Z.
Yep, nope, they're gone.
Yeah, all the stars. This guy gone.
Gone.
They're gone.
I just think
Straight to
of,
jail.
I just think of Bill Burr's thing, and he's like, "Man, if what is it? I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
if women supported the WNBA the way that
Oh yeah, I said that one.
yeah.
If women supported the WNBAs, they support a fat chick who wants to stay fat. They'd be like rich. He's like,
They'd be making as much as the NBA.
I'm so glad you are comfortable in your skin. You do amazing things.
oh man,
Jeez
Louise.
Anyway, just absolutely, what's going over there is just unspeakable. Really, it's unfathomable. It's not anything that we will ever understand or experience ourselves.
Thank God.
But it's
yeah.
like how do you even begin? I mean, obviously they're trying to begin.
And
Right.
the power dynamic it's an illusion. Like if you think about it, in every country, including ours, like the actual number of people who are in the government versus the number of citizens.
Oh yeah.
And the only way that they stay in power so well is by dividing the masses.
Yeah.
Because in this exact case in point, like you said, like, why would you protest in Iran? Like, you're most likely going to die. That's how they keep them under control and stop the protests from happening. Because they know that once all those people get on the same page and they're like, no, we're done, there's nothing they can do about it.
it's like a bug's life.
Uh-huh. It really
Yeah.
is. It always comes down to that strength in numbers. And so that's why it's good to see this happening, because hopefully it's a place where it needs to happen and it's
And how
actually going to do
brave
something.
are they to do that?
Seriously.
Knowing
Well,
the
I mean,
circumstances.
literally.
Way braver than the people that protest crap here. I'm just saying.
Well, did you see? Have you guys ever seen Fargo? Not Fargo, Argo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It's pretty much same thing in that situation. I mean, it's back in the 70s or whatever, and you know, there's heated tensions and stuff, and they invade the U.S. Embassy. But then to stop protesters and to show people like that they mean serious business, they had the 3 people hanging in the middle of the street. They had a crane out there and they had 3 people hanging in the middle of the street. That legit happened, because if you watch the credits, it shows the actual footage with the footage from the movie. And yeah, there's,
Well,
they just have people hanging in the crane, you know, in a
Like
crane.
pirate style.
Yeah, and it's like, go ahead, and this is what will happen to
We'll
you.
add a little depth to it too. I mean, it's considered immorality, right? That's what they're the moral police. I believe that they still believe in execution by stoning there.
They do.
Right.
Oh god.
What? So it's not just you're getting shot or you're just getting the needle and dying. You're getting stoned
Yeah,
to
dude,
death.
getting rocks thrown at you. Just
To
the
your
crowd
death.
just throws rocks at you till you're dead.
F that.
Well, and here's the other thing too. With this uprising, they're not just against the government, but a whole bunch of men that think this way too.
yes.
Right? So it's as much as it is women against the government there, it's also women against the men.
And well, you said it. It's like or someone said it, that it's like they're slaves, and so by the women uprising, the men are losing their slaves, and so
Yeah.
Their control. It's
Yeah,
more of a
yeah,
control.
more of a
control,
control.
the power. Like,
It's terrifying, really.
Well, it's the. You ever heard of that? I can't remember. I don't even know her name or where even. I know where to probably find it, but that porn star. out
Which
there-
one?
what's the website? Just for research
I mean, you know, no,
was a
there's
joke.
I can't remember her
Start
name.
naming
She's
them
a
off. Was it so and so, so and so, so and so, so and so?
she's an Indian porn star. I want to say she has like her own like vlogging channel now or something like that. Or
As one does.
Twitch channel, not vlogging, like a Twitch or
well,
something.
I actually think I watched an interview with her.
I
the
can't
other day,
remember her name.
And there was
but-
like this black couch.
I'm not looking it up.
No, for real. There was an interview with her. She used to do porn. She doesn't anymore.
Oh, she doesn't anymore.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
but that doesn't go away.
she has been like completely disbanded from her roots and everything like that. Like if she goes back to her home, I can't remember where she's from, but if she goes back to her home country, like she will be killed.
Yeah.
Because of what she did. She left her stuff. She came out here. Granted, I guess she also did a couple movies, you know, with the headdresses on and stuff like that. And
Sacrilegious.
yeah, a little sacrilegious, but again, though, like she came out here and she did her stuff, like
You know,
but
it
she
makes-
flat said if she ever goes home, like
she'll be killed.
She'll be killed.
But I'm curious though if her doing what she did kind of sparked some of this revolution, right? Because like
sure.
maybe
I feel like every little thing is a stepping stone.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
In another example, I watched a video not too long ago of the Pakistani, like in like you know the Miss World pageants and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Miss Universe, is it Miss Universe?
Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Universe pageant. Well, the Miss Pakistan or whatever, she in her competition, some point ended up shaking hands with the winner from Jerusalem or Israel.
Oh.
And literally a small act of faith. Hey, we're on the world stage. It's peaceful. She shook her hand.
That's no
She came
bueno.
home to death threats. Like she actually had to leave her country because they were going to kill her for shaking hands with an Israeli woman in front of the world.
My parents just actually came back from a trip about a month or two ago from Israel. And they did all that stuff and went around, but there was the part, so they went into Jerusalem. Jerusalem is literally gated. Like it is shut off and they have a border and everything.
Yep.
And they will check your ID and your credentials and everything like that. And if you are Israeli, I believe, you're pretty much shot on sight. If you're trying to enter into Jerusalem.
Wait, no.
not into
Israelis are in
Jerusalem.
control of Jerusalem.
Yes.
yeah.
That's what it is.
Pakistanis are the ones in the Gaza Strip right outside that are trying to take it back.
Maybe that's what I can't remember what it is, but yeah, like they will check you, and if you are not of the correct descent or
If
whatever,
you're not of God's country,
pretty much you are shot down in sight.
kapow.
Yeah,
I mean,
Well, and they-
literally, that's
But what
like
led up to
everything
that?
against what Jesus Christ, who is from there. Oh my gosh!
but it,
But I mean, look what they
it
did
is.
to him.
It's a war of the holy grounds.
That was
Yeah. It's the truth.
I know. Roman Empire helped out with that too, though.
They washed their hands of it, remember? So the Roman Empire basically was like, what do you guys want me to do with him? Because I don't want this decision to be on me.
I know he washed his hands, but
So I mean as in like he was complicit in it,
Right.
but didn't want to make the decision, so made them decide to do
right.
it. But other side note, like have you ever heard of the Iron Dome?
Yeah.
So it's Jerusalem's defense against the rockets
Missile
that Pakistan
defense, yeah.
shoots into there almost daily. And essentially it's this sensor array that watches the whole area, and as soon as a missile pops up in the air, another one fires off and like detonates it in the sky.
Intercepts
so
it.
they literally just sit there shooting missiles at missiles coming in, and the thing is fantastic.
Just constant.
Almost nothing gets through it. Wow. But yeah, it's like it's almost
Is it called the Iron Dome?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's the system. I think we might have helped put it in. I can't remember.
It's not Pakistan. It's the Palestinians. You said Pakistans. I'm pretty sure.
Isn't it?
So to correct it, it's Palestinians.
You might
Oh, it
be
is
right.
the Iron Dome.
Palestine.
You're right. For whatever reason in my head, it was something else, but yeah,
they've
you're
been
right.
on-
You are right.
Right.
My bad.
You're okay. Just so we don't.
Yeah, people if you're gonna get offended. It's
Right.
Like it's.
But we still want to be.
The point is we're
accurate,
having
too.
conversation. Exactly.
We're having a hot take.
like I want to be right, and so forgive
Right.
me that I was wrong. But the fact is that
You
I'm
don't need
accepting I was wrong.
Okay, now you're taking it too far. I'm just saying.
What? No, you know what? I said what I'm going to say. Deal with it.
Kill him.
Get over it. Come at me, bro.
Okay, kill him.
We've got
You
another.
get offended. It's your choice.
We've
not
got
mine.
another bit of knowledge. Or let's talk about the missiles being fired into Poland.
Oh, yeah. You mean
Dude,
they're-
there's so
the
much
starting-
news.
Right.
I know. We're well over an hour.
But we've got to mention that.
Yeah, we have to. Well, okay. To quick spot on this, just because I don't want to forget about it. The Google Drive thing is kind of wild. So there is a video circulating that someone noticed in Google Drive was they received a message saying that, what was it? You sent it.
So I believe, so essentially people were getting into their personal Google Drives.
Yeah.
Right.
And noticing that there's a video they had stored on there, and it was a video of Kanye West's interview. I think it's one where he said some anti-Semitic stuff. This video that was in personal people's Google Drives they were getting a message saying that the video was going to be deleted.
Right.
Out of your
And it was
personal-
removed. Like,
Yeah.
you couldn't do anything about it. It was essentially just saying, like, hey, we're deleting this.
Which
Tough
is
luck.
so wrong on so many levels. Even though the content itself was anti-Semitic, that doesn't give the right for a company, especially of Google's size, to have the control over someone's personal belongings, because that opens a floodgate of just danger, in my opinion.
They shouldn't even be in there at all.
No.
So I mean, back in April, there was a guy who had his Google Drive deleted because he had a picture of his son's penis on his Google Drive that he had sent to a doctor. And so it got saved in the drive. Google went in there and deleted that and blocked him out of his account.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah. So he went and got the doctors. The doctor sent a letter or whatever, said, hey, this is what this was. And he still has not been able to access his Google account. Because it was a legitimate reason. He sent it and it got saved. But yeah, that was back in April.
Holy crap.
So, I mean, it's been going on for a while.
And think of how much...
Just another reason to not go through Google.
It's infringement.
Think of how much garbage is sitting in Google Drives. Who's to say there's not videos of actual, like, murders?
Right?
Right.
Kitty porn.
Beheadings, child pornography, all kinds of disgusting, hideous crap which shouldn't exist.
Right.
But I guarantee you they're not touching it.
Nope.
Well, they did for
some of it. Like,
Yeah.
like it's, ugh.
But it's
That we haven't heard of, right? Because no
True.
one's going to come forward to the news and be like, hey,
They stole all.
they shut down my entire folder of kitty porn, and now I want my kitty porn back.
That man just gets tackled by it.
well, I understand that, but the base thing that is so scary to me and ominous is the fact that they're getting into your personal Google
Yes.
Drive.
In a way, it almost feels like as if someone had like a hidden camera in a bathroom, right?
Yeah.
Like when you are in
right.
a bathroom,
Violating.
you are not guaranteed, right? That's where the infringing comes. But what do they call that when it comes to filming? It's like a
Voyeur.
it's
Wrong side of it. Sorry.
a foyer.
I thought we were still in the bathroom.
Voyeur.
Oh, God.
Well, but like when you're in a private
Welcome
area,
back, Tony.
you are. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the word. It's just like you have the mind that you are in a private space and should be granted privacy.
Mm-hmm.
So there should be no cameras present.
Yeah.
Right.
And so in a way, that's kind of how Google Drive is. You are in the knowns that this is a private folder that you are able to contain your items, whatever they may be.
Right.
It doesn't mean, you should look down on anti-Semitic stuff. Yes, but that doesn't mean that Google has the right to remove and ban you from your own drive.
It's the very difficulty of the conversation about the First Amendment. It's like you have the right to say whatever you want, and you should have the right to say anything you want at all. But there are still some things that just shouldn't be said.
And that's when the Second Amendment came in. Because you can say everything you want, but you gotta need a gun.
Who at Google is going
There's a
through
comic
this stuff?
who said
Is it
that.
just their administrators?
They probably have AIs.
Yeah, it's
is it
probably
AI
AI.
do it?
Oh,
I was
yeah,
gonna say,
dude.
could you imagine working for Google and being like, "Hey, man, saw some of the stuff that you had on there the other day. Your wife's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Had to delete it, but sorry." Like, I don't know.
Had to download it. I mean, delete it.
They
I had to copy it first.
they shouldn't have access into that folder at
Yeah.
all. They
No,
shouldn't.
exactly.
There
No.
should be no way they have access to that.
Not even AI. And that's probably
at
the
least-
gray areas.
So
that
how
they're
to
able to-
delete stuff out of
the
your
constant
Google?
claim, the constant claim from like Apple is that they can't even get into your iCloud. Like they can't see into it, they can't access it. There's
Apple
supposed
can't?
to be there's supposed to be an encryption that basically just lets you into your little your section
Sure
and
should
in and
be.
out, and they're not allowed in it or can
It's
get
the
into
same
it.
thing too, because isn't it the same thing when they're trying to get into phones? Like when police are trying to do something, like there are so many loops and holes that you have to go through.
Well, there was that battle between the FBI and Apple a few years ago with that one.
Yeah, it was a singular
Domestic
case.
terrorist.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get into the phone, and they're
Yeah.
like, "We need you to let us into it." And
Apple
Apple's
was like,
"We
"No."
can't." And they're like, "Why? Like, you need to help us." And they're like, "No, we can't write you a way into that because that would compromise everybody."
Yeah.
The FBI was essentially asking for a master
That's
key
right.
to get into
That's
any
what
phone
it
at any
was.
time, and Apple was like,
No.
"No, like we're
Right.
not
That's-
going to do that."
Yeah. That's
That's what it
so
was.
dangerous, man.
Yeah.
And granted, though, it's kind of like the whole Minority Report thing, right? Like it, you could prevent so much,
Pre-crime.
but then at the same time, it's so
But if
much
you prevent it-
privacy.
Does it mean they did it? Like, can
Yeah.
they be punished for something they never actually did?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have,
Wouldn't we know?
I literally watched that movie like
But
2
if-
days ago.
I love that movie.
I mean, I'm so thankful that like this stuff wasn't around when I was a kid, because there was some stuff that I had just saved that was like people would have thought I was crazy, but it was just my curiosity. Like it was my serious state of curiosity. Like I would like, oh, how to make a homemade bomb? Sure, yeah, let's look that up.
How many
The
naked women
Anarchist
did you have on
Cookbook.
there?
What's that about?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just
Any
like,
good foods in there? That's not food.
and it was like it wasn't any like I never had any plans. It was literally just my curiosity. And
right.
Yep.
I did
it
the same
was just
thing.
like, man,
like,
I would
I'm
be
down.
labeled a terrorist. And it's
Yeah.
just like it was just me being a teenager and being purely curious.
I wanted to blow shit up.
Yeah, but I never.
Is there something wrong with that?
Anyway,
How much naked women did you have in there too? I
I
know that was part of your curiosity.
Fifth Amendment. What is it?
Yeah,
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
Also, last side note, there's a riot in Brazil right now over the election, apparently.
Oh yeah, did you
Tens
see
of
that?
thousands of Brazilians are protesting what they think was a fraudulent election of the new president.
That
In
sounds
Brazil,
familiar.
right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yep.
Did they learn from us?
No,
This is way bigger than ours ever was.
right.
I know that was a joke.
Crazy.
Just trying to be
Anyway.
funny.
Dude, I don't know, man.
Missed
The
the
world's
mark.
Apparently,
getting wilder and wilder every day.
Every day.
Just cling to your family, cling to God, and
Well,
weather
there's
the
about to
storm.
be World War III, apparently.
Oh yeah, yeah.
World
Let's
War
touch
III
on
is
that real
trending.
quick, and then that'll be our last topic. So, what was it?
Russia.
Russia fired 2 missiles into. Was it Poland?
Poland, but they said they were trying to hit Ukraine.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird how they hit him with all the other ones.
Yeah.
We were trying something new.
Well, because didn't it kill 2
It killed 2.
top U.S. officials?
Was it U.S.?
I don't know.
I
I know 2 people were killed.
Here's the thing. We're at a point in our world's society where you would think we could stop an outrage like this.
I was
why-
thinking
why
just the other
is
day,
it-
like, how's it still going on?
Why isn't anybody stepping in to stop Russia? Like, listen, you idiots, knock it off. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because I feel like
No simple answers, so that's the problem.
I know.
It's very
I feel like
complex.
Russia is going on this rogue thing, and I don't understand why. Why can't NATO get involved? Or
I think what they're doing is they're testing the powers. They're testing, seeing what they can get away with, see what they can do. And
Oh, yeah,
nobody's doing
They're a
anything.
child, trying to.
Putin for sure was like inching, and he's just like, "What if I do this? What you guys
Yeah.
gonna do? Nothing. Cool. How about I do some of this?" Like, and he keeps going, and Biden's never gonna do anything about it. But
He doesn't even remember what day it is.
he doesn't even know who Putin is. So apparently,
I'm Putin, my
let's see.
pants.
I've seen so many conflicting reports because I've seen other ones. This one's from NPR, and it says Poland says missile strike on its land appears to be an accident by Ukraine.
Weird. What?
Like it wasn't even Russian
Russia?
missiles;
Interesting.
it was Ukrainian missiles.
I mean, those.
how can you tell the difference?
I'm a freak. I don't know, dude.
The
Like,
shape.
I think. Oh yeah, shrapnel. Like what type of missiles they are? There's shrapnel. There's chunks
Well,
of it.
I know that, but I don't know. I don't know missiles like the way normal people do, I guess. But
when they investigate plane crashes and stuff like that are
there's
severe,
the evidence
there's
left
evidence.
behind.
Yeah.
but how do you know? Like, isn't missiles
I'm
all
not
made the same?
No.
No.
For some reason, we all put our names on them.
I mean,
Right?
It's just big old flags on the side. It's like,
This one was mine.
Property
this one's
of
named Bert. Property of Zelensky.
You're
Made-
welcome.
made in.
But yeah, like, and so that's.
I mean, if that's the case, why don't we just put China on everything?
I mean, look at
fun
cars,
fact,
for
they
example.
did that once.
Are you serious?
There's. But way back, World War II, there was a Russian submarine that got taken over by its own Russian Spetsnaz, like their special. And this is during the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? They took over this submarine with plans to launch a nuke at the U.S. while using a transmitter from a Chinese submarine. So they were going to make it look like China
was
attacked the
launching.
U.S. so the U.S. and China would get into a fight, and then Russia would take over and clean up the mess. And it was evaded because the captain of the Russian submarine was not going to let it happen, so he locked the bay doors and set off one of the missiles inside the submarine, so he sank it with everyone in it.
Wow.
He grew a conscience.
It's a wild story, dude.
Wow. Intriguing.
At least that's what we're told.
The true story is that
Allegedly.
X-Men
Well,
were involved.
we pulled up. We
Professor
pulled up
X.
their. We pulled up the submarine,
I did.
and like like from the evidence they could gather from everything that happened, that's what they assume was the outcome.
Really, a missile just got stuck in the.
The torpedo.
suck.
What was the torpedo? Didn't he fire?
Oh,
off-
it was a missile.
It was a nuclear
to like
warhead?
leave. It was like he turned it on. He didn't like prime the nuclear warhead. He like launched
Oh, okay. Whew.
because torpedoes don't have they have propellers. They don't use
Side
Right.
note.
like the.
Side
Watch
note.
out,
I
mate.
saw a face, like a fake face, versus a jet engine propulsion,
Oh my gosh!
like within feet of it, bro. The annihilation of that face is insane,
But do you remember the guy that got
Wipe that
sucked
smile
into
off
an
your
engine?
face, huh?
dude. It literally like, and just like literally, it's just like skull, instantly.
Do you remember the guy that
jeez.
got sucked into a jet intake?
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah, dude, that video is one of the wildest videos I've
I
ever seen in my
remember that.
life.
Yes, I remember that
He
video,
turns
actually.
to like freaking Gumby,
Oh,
dude. He's
yeah.
like, he was this tall, and then he's like, like he's stretched out.
Really?
That's what it looked like. But
Yeah.
it was
It looks like something out of a cartoon.
he survived.
I don't mean
that's
to be
right.
laughing so much.
It's because it was freaking nuts, man.
He learned his lesson, man. Don't stand in front of those
Well,
things.
he was like carrying something and walks in front of it. And it's like,
But yeah, on those missiles, like I'm seeing like half the articles say it was Russia, half the articles say it was Poland.
Right.
Or not
Or
Poland, Ukraine.
Ukraine.
I don't freaking know.
Here's my question.
anyway,
you guys
World
really
War
think
III. I don't think it's coming.
you think World War
Nah.
III is really going to happen?
Heck no, dude.
It would take something and the Ukrainian war is horrible, but it would take something insane. Like,
The
Yeah.
Ukraine doesn't have they don't have nuclear warheads.
no.
So I mean they're like the threat of what they could do to Russia is not as big
Yeah.
as if Russia were to try to take on us.
yeah.
Like that's where you get to we could destroy the earth at the press of a button.
Right.
The on a completely separate note, and I thought this was just funny because I just thought of it, but there was a trending hashtag of hashtag rest in peace RIP Jimmy Fallon, and like Twitter went wild with it. And then Jimmy Fallon was like, he tweeted at Elon Musk, he's like, hey, is there any way we can fix this? Because I don't think he was liking the trending that he was dead, but everyone was making fun of him. And Elon Musk was like, what's wrong with it? Basically like, shut
Like,
up,
bro,
man.
are you tweeting from the grave?
Yeah. I love it. I love it, man.
I do love watching just the havoc that's on Twitter right now.
It's so
And
Oh,
Elon,
it's
and Elon
havoc,
just
too.
doesn't
what was
care.
the one thing one of you guys shared about them oh shoot, something about that they're gonna start charging for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
the $8.
Oh, they already
The
did.
$8.
But apparently it got stopped.
What was
Twitter
the one
Blue?
thing though that someone was complaining about it, and then so one of the tech guys from Twitter was like, "Well, then find a different platform." Or
Oh,
so,
I think that was satire.
oh,
But yeah, he was saying
Gotcha.
he was saying that like, oh, reports say that if you, I think it was something to where you can only choose male or female,
Oh, yeah, the
and
gender
it's like
thing.
if you choose other, it takes you a page that says seek counseling or something like that. I guarantee that was just satire.
Or
Yeah.
they were saying it was going to charge you 16
Oh
instead
yeah, I
of
was gonna
$8.
charge you
that's what it was.
16.
Yeah, it started
Could
at
charge you
16.
more.
you got to pay $8 per gender.
That's funny. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of In the News. We did pick up some steam there toward the middle, which was nice. We were kind of slow to start, but the next episode, assuming these release chronologically, the next episode is going to be hilarious. So I hope you guys return. Our tweet is what is it?
Our tweet?
Or our
Hashtag
tweet.
Hashtag tweet. There you go.
Tweedledee.
Just tweet.
Hashtag tweet.
If you're feeling cool, throw in the Tweedledee. I'll look at it.
Oh, now they're all gonna do that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And give us your best questions, your best insight, whatever you guys would like for us to review in a future episode. Are there any real quick questions we want to go over from previous ones?
Nah.
Pull that.
We'll visit them in the
throw
next
that in
one.
the fun episode.
Literally,
Next one.
next episode is going to be an absolute riot. So I hope you guys tune in. And again, if you guys are new here, hit that subscribe, hit that like to support us. Give us some ratings. You know the biz. And we'll see you guys here next time. And on that note, if you heard it, thanks for being a part of this crowd.
Love you guys.
Arrivederci.